This conference will now be recorded.
So let's introduce what is this file topic. Excuse me. Now, when we talk about files, generally, the purpose of files is files are used to store data permanently. Why do we use them? We use files to store data permanently. Okay. And then when you talk about files, we have different types of files. We have text files, we have CSV, we have this XLSX means Excels. Okay. This Excel files and then JSON and then XML and then HTML and then XLSM. There are many files. We don't need to worry too much about all that. So we need to just get some quick idea. That's the important point here. Binary files. Okay. And then so these are all different files, but you can categorize this into two types actually. If you see here, text files and binary files. And text files, all this comes under text only. Okay, like .txt, .csv, .slx. Okay, sorry, XLSX, .json, .xml, .html. Okay, .xlsm. All these are text files. Okay, and then binary means these are JPG. This image, this images, audio, video. Okay, they comes under binary. This is a binary data. You got it right. And guys, that's about the categorization of files here. What is that? We have text files as well as binary. All this comes under text, all this comes under binary. Then, okay, and then we have discussed this about it. Even TSV, tab separated values, CSV, everything, all this comes under text files. See, so far, if you ask me, I have worked with text files, I have worked with JSON, I have worked with CSV. Okay, in Python also. The same thing is applicable in big data for me because I am a senior big data consultant. So for me, which type of files I use in my Python automation or what kind of files I usually work with these are the files, text and JSON and CSV. Okay. And the other type of files, there is no too much of it. And Excel also, one more is Excel also. But we didn't do any automation with Excel because our environment doesn't support for some other additional libraries because we don't have the permissions to install different other modules. But even Excel, every day we work with Excel also because we get some mapping documents. We have to load that into the HBase. So point is these were the different files we people keep working, but still sometimes you need to work with XML or sometimes with some other different files. That is fine. But the point is, whatever we were discussing, we were using. All these are text files. We don't use any binary. We don't use images, audio, video. Okay, that is not in our area. But there are few big data projects where people still work with unstructured data, which is audio, video, images, all that. Text files even comes under unstructured. But for us, we don't have that requirement. So I'm just giving you a quick idea. That's all. What we use, what we don't. And but still, so if there is a requirement, still we can work with them if you have a clear understanding how to work with files. Okay, let me continue here. Let's start understanding how to work with the text file. Okay, so what are the operations we need to do with files? Very simple, guys. Whenever we are working with files, the basic thing you have to do is see, it's like it's like just reading a book. If you want to quickly remember, suppose you want to open a file. First thing is if you want to open a file, first that file should exist. isn't it or not? You want to write something from a book into a book, or you want to read something from a book. And if you should do that, if you should do that, first thing you have to do is what, gentlemen? First, you should create that book, isn't it? You should purchase the book. That's this is. First, we have to. The first statement is we should open a file. Open a file in sense we create a file with some name and with some mode. Mode represents what operation you are doing. Operation in sense, is it a write operation? Is it a read operation, or is it a append operation? Something like that. You got it right. So file name, anything of your choice. If it is a text file, you can give it as .txt. Nothing to worry. So right now we are talking about how to handle text files, okay? And slowly we will do one by one, okay? That is one thing. So step one is open a file. How do you open? It's a simple step. Here you can see there is a syntax. We use open function. This is a built-in function. You don't need to do anything. And that will open a file. And this is the, here you have to provide file name, and then you have to specify mode. You can see here now, for example, C:ABC. Means you can also specify the path completely, proper path, because your files will be in some D drive, E drive, from some C drive. If you just say abc.txt, it's not sufficient. Sometimes while reading files, you have to provide full path. What you should do, you should provide full path. That is important. Got it right? So in such case, what do you do? Excuse me, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry. So here, if you look at this, can you see this now? To open a file, what I'm talking something here, we have to use fully qualified name. That is important. So sometimes, as I told just now, your file might be in E drive, D drive, okay, or some C drive. If you just see abc.txt, it becomes a current path, but it might be in some other drive. So using full path is very important. Otherwise, your file reading fails. Okay, it will throw an error. So you have to take care of the path as well sometimes when you are working with the files. Okay, that is fine. Next one. So that is how to open a file. You have to take a file pointer, some any variable name of your choice, then use open function, and then just you specify the file path, then just specify the mode here. Mode in sense which mode you should use. You have to use generally first write mode if it is first time. Once you write it, then you should read. That's what you do in a notebook. First you purchase the book, then you write, you open that book first, isn't it? Do you read without, do you write or read without opening the book? So first open the book, then write into it, then read from it. Like that you have to do. Okay. So if you see here, this is one point, keep in mind. The default mode of any file is a read. Is that mode? Read. Even if I remove this, still nothing happens for me. Still it is read mode. But if I am writing, then I have to specify write mode here. Okay, that's about open. If I am appending, then I should say A. Clear? Append means add something to already existing file. Read means file is open to read. Write means file is open to write. Got it right? And this is how you open a file. What is the syntax here? File variable open function, file name to be opened, and the mode of operation. Next, that's about open function. Now the second function is a read function. We can also use write, but we'll talk about read because most of the time you get files from different sources, and you have data. Whenever you are processing files, already file will have data. Okay, you don't do more write operation very frequently. You do read operation frequently because you are not responsible for providing data. Your client is responsible for providing data. So you have data in the file. The very frequent operation you do in your project is reading files, not writing. That's why let's understand how to play with the reading a file. Okay. So as name says, see, these are all very straightforward functions. When you look at them, there is no complexity in these functions. These are straightforward. Open opens a file. Read a file. Write a file. Okay, if you see, there will be a write function to write. You can see here, right? And finally, close will close a file. These are all very standard words we use in our day-to-day work, day-to-day life. Otherwise, to understand these functions, you don't need to be any technical savvy. Okay, you don't need to be tech savvy. There, just a normal person. Okay, read is used for reading, write is used for writing, close is for closing, open is for open. Just understand this. Okay, so there are two functions here. The read can be used in different forms actually. One more thing here. We look at this. Okay, so this is first form. Okay, what this read will do? It will read entire file. Observe this. Listen this carefully. We'll apply this. We will see with examples. It's not like just we talk only theory. We will see. We will apply and see how to read files, and we also implement them. Okay, use cases we'll try on these files. Excuse me, guys. So if you look at this, there is a read function for reading files, and we have three different forms of read. What are those three different forms? The first form is applying read without any parameters here. Okay, that is first form of reading a file. Following. And this will read the whole file. When I say f.read, you have to call all these functions on the file name. Okay, file variable name f.read, f.read of n, f.read line. So means first once you open a file, you can see here f in sense it's a file pointer. Means you don't need to apply any asterisk like in C language. Here there is no need of explicit pointers in Python. Okay. So what do you do now? Open a file. Then you are assigning to this f. So what is the point is use that f when you read that file or when you write that file or when you close that file. Once you open file, then the next subsequent operation has to be done by using this reference. Don't directly use read. Okay, switching to the next point. Suppose if I say f.read, what this does? This will read the entire data of the file and return that in the form of a string. By now we have discussed so many things in Python. We have done so many applications. So this will return read and return. I think that point is not mentioned here. Entire file in the form of a entire data in a file in the form of a string. We will see that with example. We will prove them every form. Next, that is about read function. Next, second one, a read of n. What is this? Read of n. Suppose you want to read up to some specific characters. We'll do like this. First thing, all of you open a notepad. Open a notepad first. We'll do a small application to test all these functions one by one. First, you prepare one file, text file. Okay, have some data. I'm just writing like this. What is that? Bitty bought a bitter butter. Okay, bitter butter to make, write 2 3 lines of code. Okay, to make bitter butter, but butter is bitter. I'm just adding something. You add whatever you want, anything of your choice. So she bought better butter to make bitter butter better. Okay, I'm not too good with tongue twisters. Okay, so you open a file like this and save this. Save it as some abc.txt. It's up to you. With what name you save it is your choice. Following. So I am just giving it as, even if I don't see abc.txt, by default this will be saved as a text file. You can say save as type a text document. Okay, I'm keeping it in. You can see here E drive, learn well folder. Under that I will keep it, save it. Now my file is ready. Now I want to write a Python file program to read that data file. This is a simple text file. Okay, it is stored in this one. What is that? Learn well folder. You can see here. Now this is my file. Now my file is ready. You can read any file, sir. It's not just you need to write this text file. By using a file program, you can read any of the text files. Okay, you can read. You can see. You can read this .py file, loops file, anything you can read. That's possible with the scalar.doc. You can read this. Okay, fine. So now what you do? I want to read this abc.txt. Okay, what should I do? First, open your idle, or you can open anything. Even PyCharm, you can use it. So let's that idle gets open. Okay, it is opened here. If you look at this. Now, just take one new file and then save it as some text file. So I'm giving as text file.py. I'm using it for processing text files. Now, what you do? Save it somewhere in the folder, Python folder. Suppose, where did I save my text file? In the learn well folder. If you save that this program in the same folder, your file and if your program are in the same directory, then you can directly read the file. You don't need to specify full path. That is called absolute path. But if both file and your program are there in the same file, same folder, sorry, then you can mention relative path. Relative path means just you can give file name, because the file name and the script are both are in same directory. We don't have a problem. But script is somewhere and file is somewhere. Then you have to provide absolute path. This is very important. Okay, because beginners face a lot of problems at, at this point. Okay, they put file somewhere, they put script somewhere, and they try to read the file, and they just give some abc.txt. That file won't be processed. It won't read the file, and you get an error. They might be thinking, what is happening here? What is happening? You put file somewhere, you put script somewhere. Then in such case, inside the script, give absolute path. Absolute means complete path you have to put. That is very important, right? And save it. So now I saved my file and my program in the same path. Okay, same folder otherwise. Now I want to read that ABC. I know ABC is here. Okay, you can get the path like this, full path. Go to that respective directory or a folder. If it is Windows, you can directly select the full path from the address bar like this. Okay, you can just choose like this and then save it, copy it, then come to your idle or any IDE. Now you just need to say open file. How do you open? Some file pointer equals step one is this opening a file. I'm using Python comment here. Step one, open a file. Today I'm going very slow because this is the first thing you need to understand it properly. Okay. So now step one, open a file. Then how do you open? F equal to open of in single quotes. You can see it's giving you the whole syntax. What should be there inside the open function? You should have file name, you should have mode, you should have buffering, you should have encoding, you should have errors, you should have new line, you should have closed. But you don't need all this. What do you need? You need first two parameters. These are the mandatory ones. But remaining all are optional. You don't need every attribute or every parameter which you see there. Not everything is recommended. Okay, they are optional. Choose first thing your file name, second one your. Now if you see this, I have given my file name here. But one thing, remember, observe this carefully. Observe this carefully. What is that? Whenever you give file path like this, here you should use double slash because single slash will throw error again. So here, remember this. This is one more error you do when you start dealing with files. Or otherwise, the easiest option is if you don't want to use double slash. Usually, in our Windows, the path will be separated with the single slash. Every folder, every file will be separated with single slash. But here you have to change to double slash. Otherwise, you get an error. Even in Linux also, you have to take care of this. Other important thing, if you don't want it, then you can do one thing. Instead of this slash, you can go for this one. If you give like this, it will just only accept one slash. If it is what slash is this? Forward or backward? This is a backward slash. If you are using it, just use one slash. If you are using forward slashes, use two slashes. By default, when you copy from the address bar, you will get single slash. Append one more to that slash. Okay. Do you understand this point? If you don't do that, then you might face errors. Okay. So take care of this. Make a note of it. This is very important point. Okay. Then after that, what do we do right now? So I have opened a file. Now I want to read the file. How do I read it? Whenever you read something from a file, initialize that to a variable. That is very important. If I say f dot read, there is no meaning. Why? It will read the file and return something. Should we preserve that into some variable or not? After doing so much of programming for the past 2 months, I think we have done a lot of programs, right? Then when a function returns something, we have to initialize that to some variable. That is very important. Okay. What do you do right now? Initialize this result to some variable, some data equal to f dot read. Now you print this data because it will return the whole data in the form of a string here. Just print this, print of data. Then just close the file. Now once you read, your operation is done here. Once you read, what you have to do? Usually we do some process on that data. But for now, I'm trying to print it just to get some idea like what's there in the data. Then you need to finally close the file. How do you close it? F dot close. So close is used to close a file, read is used to read a file, open is used to open a file. These are very straightforward. Okay. Do you have any problem here so far? Save this program and go to run. Let's say a run module. Did you get all the lines from the text, right? Yes, sir. Can you see that? This is how you read a file with read function. But you have read different forms of reading here. We use read with read, we use read with the read of n, and also read line. There is one more function. But do you understand this? Now I told you the whole file is written in the form of a string. Just to prove that, what I do is I am printing data. I say type of data. What is the data type of data here? Let me show you. If you see this, it is returning a string. What is happening here? It is returning a string. Are you following, guys? Is it clear? Okay. Can I get an yes or no from all of you folks? If you are following, say yes. If you are not following, say no. If you are not listening, say no comment. Okay. Okay, fine. Next one. So this is about simple read operation now. Okay. Now after this, if you look at this, how many read operations are there? If you look at the file here, we have three different forms of read. First, let me just write it here. Whenever you go for read, read can be shown in three forms. One is direct read, second one a read of n, and third one a read line. These are the three different forms of read. This will read the whole file and returns it in the form of a string. Read and I already wrote this anyhow. Read the entire data in a file and in the form of a string and return it. Okay. Read and return, not the read the. This is a typo. Okay. That is what read do. We just have verified it. We know that. Now the next one is a read of n. What is this? Suppose you want to just read the first n characters, first 5 characters, first 6 characters, first 10 characters. Then what do you do? Then we have to use read of n. So this will read and return first n characters. First n characters from a file. Read line returns as name says, you can see here. Okay, just read only one line at a time. As name says, read one line at a time. Then read lines. There is one more, folks. Read lines. What this will do? Read all lines and returns. Observe the differences and returns in the form of a list. In the form of a list. Okay. This is all these are very useful to you because I keep using a lot of text files. Okay. Understanding these differences helps you to apply which function depends on the requirement. Now you see here, we have already tested the first function. Now let me apply second function. It is used to read first 10 characters. Let's just try that. You have already a data file here, small data file. That is this data file. Bitty bottom bitter butter is the data file. Now I'm just reading first 5 characters. Let us see what happens, what it returns here. Okay. So I tried with this. I'm successful. I don't have an issue. This is returning the whole file and I'm just checking it. It is a string there. Whatever we have discussed, it is proved here. Okay. Next one after this is Let us try read of n. Okay, you just say read of 5. When I say read of 5, what happens? What happens here? It read and returns the first 5 characters. That's what read of n function will do. Okay, save it and read it, run it. First, you need to say, don't you check type here now. You can check type, there is nothing wrong in that. But first print data and see what is coming. You got BT. How many letters are there here? How many letters are there, sir? How many are there? 5. Are you getting exactly 5 or less than 5? Excuse me. Okay. Can you see this now? This is 5. The count is 5. What is the type of this? Obviously, this will also be a string type, no doubt about that. Okay. Run this. You can see here now. Can you see this? It is a string type. Even this is also a string. You understood, right? So now we got 2 different forms of read here. The first one, the default read, where it doesn't take any parameter. The second one, it takes a parameter. The parameter is number of characters you want to read. And we have seen both the read functions, how they work and how they perform. Now we are going to talk about read line. Suppose in place of this, I just use read line. Read line doesn't take any parameters. Doesn't take any parameter. If you ask me why it doesn't take parameter, it is the API. When you are using built-in functions, you don't have any control on built-in functions. Okay, you just need to know how to use them. Suppose if you are creating your own function, then you are having a lot of control on that. Got it, right? Using built-in functions is nothing, sir. Going and purchasing some built-in packets from a supermarket. You purchase some Lay's chips. Can you do any changes to that? You use it as it is because it is already developed. If you want something different of your taste, then you have to prepare it at your home. That is customized. So going back to the point about read line, what is this? What is this here? Now save this and then say run. What this read line will do, as name says, when you look at this data file, it will just read one line at a time. So how many lines are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for now, I get how many lines? Look that data file carefully to understand your result properly. Just open this and go to run and say, don't and remove this type here. Earlier I was just checking type. Otherwise, put one more print here. Print of data. Okay. Now run this file. Run one. Now how many lines were printed here? How many lines it is printing? Read line just reads only one line. If you want one more line, one more read line. One more line, one more read line. Suppose if there are 10,000 lines, every time will you keep trying to read read line, read line? No. In such case, we go for a read function. Or suppose if when you use read, it will return everything in the form of a string. But I don't want a string. Every line should be a separate value to me. In such case, I go for read lines. What is that? I read lines. If you look at this in the same program, if you see here, I am using read lines and I am just trying to run this. Observe carefully. Can you see this output? This time you find altogether a different output. Of course, new line, it is you are having new line here because why? You press enter whenever in the data file, whenever you are trying to add a new line, you press enter. When you press enter, a new line is appended to your file here. After every line at the end, you don't see that, but it will inherently exist. Okay, you got the point, right? Whenever you press enter, that new line is appended to each line at the end of the line. Got it? So what do you do right now? Here, when you look at it, can you see this now? When you use read lines, what happens, sir? It will read all line, everything in the form of a list. Can you see this now? I have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Every line is one value here, one string, and it is returned to a list, and the return type is list here. If you see carefully, what do I get here? I get a list. But one thing is, a new line is appended here, so you have to take care of this new line. Whenever you are trying to, use read lines, you have to make sure that this no new line exists here, because that will completely change the meaning of your value. Any extra value, extra character, extra space is going to make a change to your result. Okay, see how to take care of all this. Whenever you are processing this list, you have to remove this new line from the end of this which one, end of this string actually. Got it, right? I'll give a small requirement. Let's play with a small requirement when you have such thing, because this is part and parcel of processing data in a file. Usually when you do automation, sometimes we get new lines like this appended. What we have to do is we have to remove them and process for the further stage. Now I will give a small requirement after seeing, observing all this. I'll give a small requirement. So you read a file in the form of list. If new lines were appended, all the new lines from each value must be removed, and again you should create a fresh file without new lines. Got it, right? That is the requirement, because this is a useful scenario. Okay, I'm not just teaching the concept, but I'm trying to make you understand how to apply in a real project. Okay, and the scenario what we have seen and what we have applied, let us try to apply that. Now the point is here. This is the point. I think you got clarity about all the different read functions, right? We have used 4 different types: a read function, and read of n, then read line, read lines. We have seen 4 different read functions here. Clear, right? Are you good so far? What read lines will do? It will read the whole file and returns that in the form of a list. Okay, that's what read lines will do. What read line will do? Read line just returns only a single line. Okay, what read of n will do? Read of n returns first n characters. What read will do? Read just returns the entire file in the form of a string. Is it clear to all of you now? All of you are good here? Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's summarize this and move to the some small sample for us. Let us see a small sample. So we have already concluded what these functions do. Now you tell me now one by one what read does. Just type in the chat box. You know why I am trying to spend time here is, first you need to have a clear idea about each function. Then applying it will help you to understand the file processing. What is this read does? Okay. What read function does, folks? Now you tell me your answers. 1 minute, guys. There is some. And what read of n does? Come on, guys. What read of n does? What read line does? What read lines does? Just answer one by one. Answer one by one, sir. I know I am little slow, but that is necessary here. Otherwise, you get confused again later. Okay. Also tell me the return type. What is the return type of read function? Return type of read function. Okay. What is read of n? Okay, I keep asking you answer. What is read of n? It will read and return first n characters. Okay, are you sure? What is the return type of read of n function? Return type of read of n. Come on, keep answering in the chart. Okay, what is read line? Read line, what it does? Will it read the whole file? Okay. What is the return type of read line? What is the return type? See, you need to understand the return types as well if you want to perform better. Read line. Okay. String. Perfect. What read lines will do? What read lines will do? Read all the lines of a file and returns that in the form of a list. Every line is treated as one value here. Got it right? Every line is treated as one value. Okay, now the requirement. This is the requirement. So you take a text file. Okay. Now what is the requirement is whenever we use text files. So this is my text file. Okay, you take anything. If not like this, take something. Okay, after you remove this and put something like this. Whatever nonsense you want to keep, you keep it in the text file. We'll talk about beautiness and meaningfulness little later once we get some idea. Okay, this is my text file. Now, when I just try to process this with read lines, we have just discussed at the end of each line, you can see here, a new line is appended. Is it? So what do you do right now? The requirement is when you have a file like this, requirement is write the program now. So program is write a program, write a file program. Just write here, I'll give you requirement here. Write a file program to read a file and remove file program to read a file and remove new line appended to each value. Okay, that is a requirement, right? Try this program now and write the result to a result to a
Hello.
Guys, there was a network problem, so I couldn't. Can you hear me now? Continue. Somehow, suddenly the network have broke down in our area, so I tried to connect with the mobile now. Let's continue. Let's. We were talking about this one here. This I asked you to do this. I hope most of you solved this. I'll just show you how to solve it once. Okay. Right. So one thing you have to check here is just see the output here. Based on output, you decide if any new line exists at the end of that. If the character is new line, check that the end character. If it is new line, you should remove it. Okay, how do you do that? To remove a character from a this thing, how can you apply that? First, you try to find length of every string here. Once you find length, the last character is what? It's a new line. Okay, that then you should just read the first 10 characters. That is one thing. Is there any function in string available to remove a specific character? Any idea? Because we have discussed about strings, right?
Yep.
But do you have any function like that to remove a specific character? Okay, strip is for removing spaces. Strip is for removing spaces at the beginning and at the ending. Do we use it for removing a character as well? I don't think strip will be applicable here, but I'll just write a code of myself and later on I'll check for built-in functions. Or if you want, you can quickly check the function now itself, not an issue. Let's understand a string functions in Python. Just go and check somewhere, okay, some W3 skills. Replace is there, split is there, but I don't see any specific function to remove a character from a string here. We don't have like pop function, like remove function, or like discard function, like what we have in collections. I don't see that here. But then how do I do then? How do you remove it? Then you do one thing. There are many ways here. You can apply some a replace function. Is there any? You say strip is applicable for what? Removing spaces. Then I'll do one thing. I'll quickly write a code like this first of all. I know every last character in this file every last character. This data is a list, right? All of you know how to iterate a list or not? Now what you do? Now iterate this data because it is a list. I know if it is a string, there is nothing to iterate there. String means it will return character by character, but I don't want that here. I want line by line or every value from the list. So how do I do that now? First, I am applying a loop here for some word here, some word in data colon. What is that? First of all, I need to find the length of every word. I'll do one thing. Some len equal to uh, length because length is a built-in function there, not to get confused. Length of word here. That gives me length of word. Then
तो डिलीट చేస్తే మెయిల్ పెట్టాలి డౌన్స్
this.
కి
Pardon?
ఒక సెపరేట్ మెయిల్ పెట్టాలి
Yeah. Please mute your.
హ్యాకర్ ఉంది కదా
Yeah. Mute
షేర్
please.
చేసాడు
Yep. This is what happens sometimes if you don't know that you unmuted your machine, all your secrets will be exposed. Okay. Fine. I'm just kidding. So you find length. What this will give you? Length of every word here. I'll tell what to do after this. You got 14, 14, 14 and 13. And it is a common sense. New line is appended at the end of every letter, isn't it? Every word. It is the last character, isn't it? Last in sense, suppose I don't know what is that last character, but dynamically I should remove that. Means what should I do now? I am applying a slice operator. What do I do? I apply a slice operator. You know, right? You remember, right? How to bring part of a string? How to bring part of a string? Applying slice operator. You remember that, right? Yes or no? Forgot? Or do you remember? Yep, you do. Do you have a strip function available? Okay, if you can do that with strip, it's fine. Okay, not an issue. But I'm just showing you the other way. Then we can just apply a simple slice here. Then we'll check with strip also again. We'll see both the approaches. So here, some w1 equal to, you know, right? Slicing means we have to start from 0, ends where 0 to length minus 1. Let's take up to minus 1 because if it is giving us 14, if length is 14, it will get 0 to 13. Means I should exclude 13th character. Then I should say length minus 2. Let me test it once quickly and let me print this w1. That gives me a clarity. Okay, but before that, what should I do now? I should see that every word has a new line. There is another solution given by Madhu that will work perfectly. This is working for all the three words here, all the first three values, but last value doesn't have a new line. You have to take care of this also. That is very important. Okay. So what do you do right now? Let me just run this now. I just done a stripping here. What is that I do? I have removed the new line from the existing words and I'm just printing. I didn't append to the list as well for now. So I think we should put a comma here, right? What is that? Whenever we are applying this, of course, you need to use the name of the, without that, how does that this know that this which operator is this slice? How does slice operator know where to, on which string it has to apply this slicing? So you have to provide the name of the string as well. Okay, we are using word here. Okay, just run this now, save it, and let us see what is the output we get here. And we can see the from this the last one, it is removing some existing character, not the new line. For first three, it is fine. So this is a bad idea. You should make sure that everything is there and you have to remove only new line. So what should I do now? There is another way here to quickly check. If that last character is new line, then only you have to apply that. I'm just showing you a coding way. If suppose strip of new line is not available, then how do you customize a code? Madhu has given me some solution here. So we will try that also. Okay, fine. Now that is actually straightforward, very useful function. We'll check after this. Suppose if you don't have that, how do you apply it? First, what you have to do? First, you get the last character. If last character is new line, then you do stripping. Otherwise, just remove it, just keep it like that. So how do you get last character? I know the length. So your, as it is a string, index starts from 0, ends with length -1. So 13th will be the last character. New line is treated as one character. So what should I do right now? First of all, I should say if that word of length -1, if it is equal to new line, if it is a new line, okay, I'm just showing you how to write your customized code as well. Then what I have to do, if that length -1 is new line, then I have to apply slicing here. I have to take up to this one, else there is nothing to do. Then you have to print it. Now let us see this. Now we'll see some difference this time. I'm expecting you got this filter, right? Do you understand what I'm doing here? If the last character is a new line, then only do the stripping for that. Means I just stripped up to before new line. Okay. Then otherwise don't do any stripping. If last character is not new line in a string, then don't apply any stripping. That's what the point is. Okay. Now let me just run it once. Save it. Save the program. I didn't save it. Str object is not a callable object. Word of length -1. Okay, this is fine. One minute, guys. What it is saying? So length of what is word of length -1. This is perfect. Okay. I have to put this print inside this. That is one thing. Let me just check it once. Type error. It's not callable. Showing issue with
Yeah, there should be square brackets.
this one. Yeah. Got it. Yes. Thank you. This is string, right? Yes. I am trying to extract index. So that's a mistake. Thank you. Type. So this time I don't see. I see that what's happening here now. The last one has to be printed again. Where is the yes? It's not printing. But we can do one thing. We can apply else part here. We can directly print and see whether it is coming properly or not. You can directly print a word here because no stripping is happening if there is no new line. And just run it now. This time it's perfect, right? This is kept as it is. No change in this. Anything else missing? Just check that J is missing here. Okay. K is missing here. Okay. And K is missing. Still there is a mistake. I'm doing something. Yes, because when you do stripping, this slicing, it will exclude last one, right? So that is a mistake. Okay. But now got a perfect output. See here now. So this is how you have to check time to time whether your output is coming correct or not. Based on that, you should make changes and try to run the code. Okay. So I am now completely successful, and I think we can also apply strip directly like this. This is one approach with the complete customization. Second approach is the same thing. You can directly apply with the strip itself. How do you do right now? I'm just removing this. Okay. Then I am keeping all this code in comments. Just keep it like that. Then all this is in comments now. This is triple line, means it is a multi-line comment. We can use it as a comment. Now we can directly say some print of word dot. So word is our this thing. Then dot, then strip of new line. That string dot. We have to just remove the new line from each word if it is having a new line. Then just print it. Let us see what is the output we are going to get for this. You can see it, right? So this is so simple. When you go for a built-in function, whatever the code I wrote is a customized code. Thank you, Madhu, because I did observe this. Okay, clear, right? Understood? Which is simple to apply straight, to remove your new line. There is a strip function, you can apply it. Okay, clear? This is one use case. Usually we try to work in our code time to time. Try with the closed brackets instead of open brackets. Yeah. Now we are successful, right, in both the approaches. Got clarity now? That's idea about this one. Next one. Let's switch to the. Any questions so far? Next one. So finally, we learned all the functions, how to apply them. Got it, right? We'll do many more use cases like that. Next use case is this. Suppose you take a data set like this, a simple data set. You can choose a. Okay. You need to have first how many columns here? 5 columns, or 3 columns is also fine. You don't need to take 5 here. Next use case on files. Okay, text files. Now create this data file. Create a data file like this. First one. Keep doing, sir. Prepare this data file. Shall I copy and paste it in the chat box so that you don't need to waste your time for preparation? I paste it in chat box. You can copy and paste it. If you want, you can change any. If you want to make any changes, you can change it to that data set. I put my name. If you want, you can add your names instead of my name. Okay. Shared in the chat box. Try it now. First, prepare your data set. You copy it. Just save it as a text file only. Don't save it as Word, CSV or any other file. We'll work with CSV again. That is also there. So here I'm just saving it as emp.txt and just save it. Okay. Now open this. What is the use case we have to do right now? Whenever you are trying to read any file, okay, one thing what you have to do is we have to start reading from the from the data. Okay, your data starts from second line, not from first line. You should exclude header because reading header is not going to help in many cases. So we have to exclude header and we have to remove it. Got it, right? So how do you remove header first? If at all there is a header, and if I want to remove header, what should I do now? You can here, if it is a text file, you can simply say just read, apply read line. What read line will do? Read line will just read the first line, and when you apply read lines, it will return rest of the lines, because once you do a read line, the cursor is moved to the next line, because initially cursor is pointing on top of the file. Your cursor will be here. When you apply a read line, one row will be read by that function, and then the cursor is moved to this point here. It will be waiting on top of this. Now from there, if you apply read lines, it will return the rest of the data. This is what I need. I just want to exclude my header here. Got it right? So this is just one small simple use case. It's not something too difficult. First you remove, just try to extract header and then apply read lines. Then read lines will return complete all the rows with excluding headers there, because already cursor is moved to the point after header. Got it right? Test it once. See the difference and tell me. I will also test. You try it first, then I will also try. Here, what is that? I have to just make it as emp.txt. Take that data and test it, sir. And here, first, what did I tell you? Apply read line. I'm doing all this code. You can get it from the, already it is recorded, so we don't need to worry. When you are watching YouTube, then you can get all these programs, everything. And if you want, I can type in chart also. If anybody needs any programs, no, ask me, then I will ping in the chart if you think you need them. I'm removing all this. First, my requirement is so simple. First, you do that. That is, I'm just naming. First one is header. So I name this as header. Then the from second line onwards, it's data. So I'm reading data with the read lines, parentheses, save this, and just try to run this code. Just say run module. Nothing will come, of course. That is correct. Why? Without printing, we don't see any data, right? What should I do, sir? Just say print of header. That is first thing. Second one, print of data. Okay. What do you get if it is data? You get a list of all the rows. Every row will become one value here. You can see here now. Clear, right? This is header, sir. And this is the actual data. Actual data is actually moved to this list here. If you see here, did I separate that header part and rest of the data, right? This is how you can do it. This is one small simple use case for you. Clear, right? So all of you tested. And anyhow, when you do like this, this new line is appended, apply that strip function. Strip is easy to use because customized code always not possible in a real-time code. Okay. I'm not aware of that strip of new line. Otherwise, I would also use that only. Come on, guys, test it now. Shall I give one small task on this? Because with all the knowledge what you have, whenever you have a file like this, now I should read a file. Okay. What I want is I should read a file. The requirement is this. Let us do a small task here, just for improving our logical skills here. This is how the real-time requirements will be. You have a data in a file. You should read that file. Read a file and extract. What should I extract? Name and cell. And on that cell, what I need is okay, sum of all cells. Okay, average of a salary, max cell and min cell. You can apply any built-in functions now, because I taught you how to write a customized code with all these functions, like how to write customized code for sum, average, and then max and min. Then now you can go for built-in functions. Don't waste much time, but this is the requirement. This is how it will be when you are doing analysis on data with Python. These are all aggregate functions, sir. Sum, average, max, min, and count. These are called aggregate functions. You try this now. I don't think if count is available, you can apply count, or you check some other function. Length will be best choice instead of count. Okay. Now you try this requirement now. This is a small use case. Now what we are doing? We are trying to read a file, and then we are trying to extract data, and then we are trying to apply some aggregation on salary part. Try this now. Take some time, some 2 to 3 minutes, or at least some 5 minutes, and see how you can extract those rows. And then how you can these are fixed, right? This structure is fixed. Excuse me. Structure is fixed. So based on that, think like how do you do it? Dear folks, let us try this how to process this file. Okay, we'll see step by step here. Now, this is our program, and what we have to do, we know how to read this file now. We can apply read lines and we can extract all the data from that. But prior to that, as we have header part, I extracted header part first, and then I try to read the remaining lines of data. And when we print it, we get it like this. Okay. Now from this, we should iterate this list line by line or value by value. Every value has how many? Every string has how many values inside that? It has almost 5 values. Apply a split on that by comma, and before that you can apply a strip also. If you want, if you want to remove new line, apply a strip and then remove that new line, and then apply a split, and then extract. When you split it, it returns again what? It returns when you apply split function, it will split these values and return a list again. All this list of values is put it into a list again. So string will be split, and those splitted values are put into a list. And this has indexing. One is in 0th index, and mono is in first index, and 10,000 in second index. Same thing is applicable. 2 is in 0th, mono 1 in second index. This is in third index, like that. So what you have to do? You have to, what is that? Based on that, because this is fixed structure, as it is a file, we don't need to worry. The second and third means 1 and 2 indexes are our required indexes. In that, first one is name, second one is our salary. So how do you do it now? If you understand this, then we can apply our logic directly. Are you clear to this point? Understanding problem is important, not writing solution. Many people don't know that writing code is not difficult, but what is difficult is understanding problem is difficult. Many people doesn't have this. Okay, so now if you see, open this, let's try to do that now. First of all, you try to apply split now. Sorry, strip off all that data. Just now we have applied strip, right? For some line in data. I'm reading line by line. Now I should apply a strip on each line. So what should I do right now? And I also can apply a split at the same time. But not to get confused, what I'll do, some line 1 equal to strip of new line. I should strip off new line, but before that, line 1 dot. So line dot strip off, not line 1. Sorry, I'm assigning to line 1. Line dot strip off new line. This what this will do? This will strip new line from each line. Okay, just to test it whether it is working fine or not, just print it and see, because prints are used mostly for testing in a real-time code. So perfect. We don't have any, what is that? We don't have any new lines at the end of the each line. Okay, I put it at the beginning. I don't need it again at the end. Already we have it there. Now what do you do right now? After this, apply a split function on each on this line 1. So how do you apply split function? Some values equal to then our emp data. This is the emp data equal. This is my array name equal to line 1 dot. We should split it by what, sir? If you see the output, we have to split it by comma. So I'm splitting it by comma. So line 1 dot. Just observe this split of you have to apply just a comma here this time. Then this returns an array. We know that. And now you just try to print and see first what is there in this emp data. This list here. Just go to the run and run module. Then observe this. You can see here all these values are split. But once after applying split, we have list of strings here. We don't have. This is a sal. Sal is a decimal data, but still it is a string. So whenever you try to read a cell, you have to again convert back to cell, and then on top of that, you have to apply the aggregations. Keep in mind, okay? So what do you do right now? Now I got my EMP data, which is perfect for me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first iterate this EMP data for okay some val in EMP data. Like if I do like this, what happens? It will give me what it gives is it will give me value by value. But what I need is just the second and third index. Okay, from every this thing. So what can I do now? I can just directly when I apply split. We should extract second and third here. Means what we can do is instead of iterating here, you can directly say print of don't iterate EMP data because we know EMP data look like this. Just now I have shown you. What is that? Let me again print it and show you for better analysis. So you can directly extract it. You don't need to do anything now. You can directly extract. Can you see this now? Already we have all the lists here. Every time you iterate, you get a list. That line you split it. When you split it, it returns a list of values. On top of this, we need to extract this first and second values here. Means 0, 1, 2. You should get from first index and second index. What can I do now? I can do like this. What is that? Just to show you, I'm just directly extract. I told you to extract name and salary, right? First, I am showing you that. So EMP data of 1. This returns a name for me. Put some gap here, comma, and after that EMP data of what do you get now? Of 2. It gives me salary. Okay. Now I am trying to extract both name and salary, but this is not what I want because salary is something string. Now I need to perform aggregation. So how can I do that? We'll see one by one. Okay. So now just save this and run this run module. Okay. Now you can see from each, if you observe carefully the output, from each list I am extracting name and salary. Now what I need to do, I need to perform sum of all this, average of all this, min of all this, max of all salaries. Okay. And if I should do that, how can I do that? One thing is writing a customized logic. But even then, these are there in different lists. If all these values are there in salaries are there in single list, then I can try that, isn't it? As they were in different lists, first what I have to do, first I have to collect all the salaries first. What I need is sum of all salaries, minimum of all salaries, maximum of salaries, and then count of all salaries. Then first you do one thing, just one salary list here. You know what you do? Simply do one thing. Take a salary list, sal list. Okay, assign it to empty here. Make it empty. And now every time you get sal here, you know this EMP of data to append that to this sal list of. But before that, what you do, because as it is a string, convert it to float and assign. You have to apply a casting function here. You remember, right? I taught it in the beginning. So that string has to be converted to float here. Then what do I do right now? You know, I still remember we use this float function. You have to apply float of EMP data of 2. Okay, you can also assign to some variable and then you can convert it to this process. As I know that this is the okay. As I know this EMP data of 2 is a salary, I am directly applying casting on that. Okay, you can do like that. There is nothing wrong. But here, what should I do now? Sal list dot I have to use append function. Sal list dot the append of this. What append do you all of you know that we have done a lot of collections, isn't it? So this will add all salaries to this sal list. Now it's easy for me because the data is completely a decimal data. Now I can apply directly the functions from the available in the list so that I don't need to waste much of my time now. So before this, I just want to print this sal list once. What is coming to this list, I just want to see. Okay, and save this. Let me just run and see what data is coming from this. Perfect. You can see this. At the end, you can find all the salaries are written to single list. Now, is it easy for me to apply these functions, right? Why I do this? Why did I put all the salaries into one list? Because to apply min, max, all that, if we have all the salaries in a single list, it's easy for me to apply aggregate functions. So now, print, what is that first one? We can directly apply sum of sal list, that is first function. Second one, okay, min of sal list, max of sal list. Okay, third one is fourth one is what? Min, max, sal, average. I don't think average is there in this list. I'm not sure average function is available. Average of you can see when I apply average, still it's in black color, but all built-in functions are in that. What color is that? I don't know the name of the color. Anybody can help me here. So that brinjal color there, right? So that one. Excuse me, guys. Then you can also apply length of cell list. And finally, you need average. That's not available. Still, I can write a customized code for that. It's hardly a matter of what. It's a simple thing. To get the average here, it's simple for me. Print off sum of. I can directly do it like this. Sum of sal list. No, average means total by actual number of what by number of values in that, right? Length of sal list. That's it. This gives me average, right? Simple, right? Over. Any braces missing? Check once. Let me run this. Okay, perfect. This time I don't have any issue. Okay, total it's giving me 15,000. 1,50,000. Yeah, it's 1,50,000. 50, 40, 30. Okay, and then that is total. Next, minimum is what is the minimum here? Minimum 10,000, maximum 50,000. And then length is 5, and then average is what is average here? 1,50,000 by 5. How much? Obviously, it's 30,000. Perfect, right? Able to solve this now? Got it, guys? All of you get this? Yes, no? Almost got it. Almost didn't get it. Tell me something. See, these programs, sometimes whatever I am giving here, mostly they are just I'm giving it at the moment itself. So I didn't prepare and come. So sometimes we are doing it analysis directly in the class itself. Because programming doesn't need any, it has to come natural. Okay, Veera has given some solution, and clear, right? So that's the idea about how to deal with text files. Yep, I think you're following, right? You told you also need a bit of file programming, and by the time you finish these files, definitely you will be rocking in your project. I know very well. Clear now? Next one. So next part, I think we'll do tomorrow, guys. I have some other work to do now. Almost we are done for 1 hour 45 minutes. So my request is whenever I break down in the middle means there should be some network issue. Just wait for some time. Anyhow, connecting to online means just keep in mute and do whatever you want. Later on, once I come back, you can keep attending this session. Okay, so you don't need to exclusively waste your time. But usually it doesn't happen. Today we have a network breakdown in our area. I don't know the reasons. Okay, so just wait. If any network breakdown is there, don't immediately leave. If anyone is new, and if they want to upskill, because I'm seeing some many new people here, you can just get a backup from this YouTube channel, Learn Well Space Tech. And if anybody wants your you to add to this WhatsApp group of this one, our WhatsApp group, please share your contact numbers. Those who are new and those who wish to add it to the WhatsApp groups. Otherwise, no issues. Clear, right? If you want get regular updates. Anything else, guys? Any questions? Madhu, Ayappa, because I know few guys who are close to me. Okay, and then there were many people: Devakar, Kavya, Nagraj, Padasarthi, Ramani. All of you are good, right? Shiva, two Shivas are there. I don't know which Shiva is whom. Both are same or different. Sandhya and Veera. All of you are good, right? Shankar, yes, I'm seeing Shankar. Okay. Shall we meet tomorrow? Please share with your friends, guys. Please keep sharing. And if anybody wants me to add to WhatsApp groups, just share me your numbers so that you can get regular updates, like any links changed or any new announcements were there, then you can get that. But most of the sessions which I do will be free only. I don't have any plans for going commercial sessions. Okay. Even big data we are doing in the morning 8 to 9. And right now we just started Scala programming. If anybody wish to join, you can use the same link to join big data for next 15 days, because it changes after every 15 days. Right now we are not using commercial web meeting. Got it, right? Any other questions? Good that you are doing program. Try to understand, try to apply. That is what we need in industry right now. The advantage with Python is, if you can master Python, people say that data science, deep learning, artificial learning, all these are dependent on this Python. If you really learn Python well, I'm very sure about it, you can happily improve, you can happily upskill your data science technologies. There is nothing in data science. There are algorithms we have to apply in Python, and we are doing it regularly in our classes. We are implementing so many algorithms. Same thing you do, they put a name as data science. That's all, nothing more than that. I can make you, even without knowing that you are learning data science, you can learn that in Python directly. Got it, right? So if you master Python, the advantage is it is useful so many ways in nowadays. Okay, thank you. See you guys. And if you wish to come to big data, you can join in 8 to 9 session. And this is our YouTube channel. Till date, whatever the videos we have done, that is available here. And please share with your friends, and if possible, please subscribe. Okay. And then if possible, please like the videos as well. Thank you.
Hi, sir. This is Satish.
Satish, please tell me, Satish.
So I want to discuss a question offline. Can you stop the recording?
Sure. Okay. 1 minute. Recording is stopped, I hope. 1 minute. 1 minute. Recording. I should stop it. Okay. Tell me, Satish.
Yeah. So can you go to that header and data, sir?
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So here, why it is skipping the schema when you're printing the read lines?
Oh, why it is skipping the schema when you are using read line? Okay, fine, no problem. Satish, right? See,
Yeah.
it's a simple thing. You just see here. I have explained that, but still, might be you missed that point. Generally, any file reading happen. If you are reading any file, the first cursor will be on top of the file. This is very important point you need to understand. Where this cursor is pointing?
Yeah, here.
On top of the file. Now you apply the read line function, isn't it or not? What it will do? It will push the cursor to next line. It will read this. Okay. It will read this line. You got it right?
Yes.
From on top, it will point to the current line and read it. Understood?
Okay.
Then after that, again you are saying read lines. Means what happens again? Whenever you apply read lines, again the cursor is moved to next line, and then it starts reading from here onwards.
Okay. So it will not point to original file location. Okay.
Initially, it will be on top of the file. This is applicable not only in Python. It is there for any kind. Even in database also the same thing happens.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, understood.
When I apply read line first, it will give me the only header. And when I apply read lines, it will skip that header and give me the remaining data part. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's what happens here. Understood?
Understood, sir.
Yep. Whenever you apply read line, cursor will be pushed one line to the next line.
Okay.
Okay. Is internally these functions not only just read the line, they will also move the cursor internally. Otherwise, that reading doesn't happen, right? It's not possible to move one line to another line or from one row to another row. If it is possible, means internally they were calling some functions like next, previous, before, after, or before, something like that.
Yeah.
Clear now?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's it. This is a simple thing. You don't need to, you don't need to think too much here.
Okay.
Clear? Any more questions, guys? That's it. Thank you, guys. We'll meet tomorrow and we'll do more on this filing. Okay. That's it. See you.